Well, I'm in the Horan rehearsal rooms today with David Horan, who is the artistic director of Bewley's Cafe Lunchtime Theatre in Dublin. And we have a long relationship with Bewley's. It goes back to the very first season, autumn season in 2004, when a play from Bewley's by Isabel Mann, So Long Sleeping Beauty, came over. And since then, plays have been going back and forth. But David has now taken over there, and indeed he directed a play for Horan Moore from Bewley's, which was Hue and Cry by Deirdre Kinahan. David, welcome to Horan Moore.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
How are things at Bewley's?
Things at Bewley's are good. At the moment we have the Lily Lally show starring Barbara Brennan, which is a show that's a little tribute to the age of the vaudeville and the panto star and that kind of thing. And actually the review came in today from the Irish Times. It was very nice.
Good.
But we're also very busy because we're preparing to have 5 plays from 5 weeks, come from the Horan Moore in Glasgow on a trek around Britain, but arrive at Bewley's from the beginning of October to the first week of November.
Right.
So we're really looking forward to that, and we're just beginning to roll out that news and let everybody in Ireland know that we're going to have plays coming from David Harrow or Mary Jones. She'll be very popular in Ireland.
Yes.
Actually, the play I'm directing right now, the Gary Owen in the pipeline, which is going to go down really well in Ireland because at the moment we have a big problem with the protests against the Shell, who are trying to build a pipeline across the west of Ireland that the families don't believe in.
It's a good moment,
yeah.
good timing.
Yeah.
And it's a real international collaboration because we've got an Irish director directing a Welsh cast by a Welsh writer in Scotland, and you're going to tour to England.
Yeah, and played 2 venues in England. But that's great. It's such a Welsh play, so the Welsh cast are educating me on the turns of phrases.
Right.
But the Celts at the same time, we're all united.
Yes.
That way.
Yes.
No, it's great.
Tell me a little bit about the play.
So it kind of just started. It's called In the Pipelines. And it's a story about how these villages are affected by a new power station and a new pipeline being built across from Milford Haven to Neath. And they're all affected in different ways. One person's forced to face redundancy, another is forced to sell part of her land that's been in her family for 80, 90 years. And she never really thought about that until she'd done it. And for another guy, a younger fella, who works on the trains, it actually just means that he misses the opportunity of the love of his life by selling out his house. And in a way what you're seeing is small lives being affected by big business. And so it's a very pertinent play for today.
Yeah.
It's a little pain to an older way of life, but it's also really gentle and really funny.
Yeah.
Really funny, and there's something about the throwaway Welsh aphorisms that really work.
Yeah. In a funny way, although it's an intensely personal play, it's actually quite a political play.
It's huge.
It's how big political issues affect individuals.
Yeah. Yeah. It's how big decisions made in far off places have ramifications right down to the very smallest of things.
Yes.
As I was saying, in Ireland we feel it right now. We have the situation where there's people known as the Rossport Five, who were 5 fathers of families in Mayo who all went to prison because they were protesting against a pipeline being built. And only last week, a 3rd proposal for a route for this pipeline has gone past government. And each time the government falls in with Shell, and each time the police side with the big men.
Yeah.
And these peaceful protests are quite surprisingly being quashed. So yeah, it's a very pertinent, and it's big politics dealt with a small touch, deft hand. Yeah.
And there's usually a great sense of humour.
A great sense of humour, and a very self-deprecating sense of humour, and there's characters here with real wisdom and real blind spots, which is always fun.
Yeah. And Gary Owen's work, it's new to you?
Well, one play has been produced, I'm going to forget the name of it now, The Disillusionist,
right.
The Illusion World, which I saw, I can't remember the title now, That was one of his very early plays, but this will be the second play of his to go on in Ireland.
Right.
And it's really lovely to be presenting because he's a real playwright. He really knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's a lot of things to say. And unfortunately, he's a dad all of 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
which means he's not around here right now to promote the play himself.
Well, this is a birthday present for his new child.
And he's writing for the National Theatre of Wales at the same time, so he's a very busy man.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And now, collaborating with us at Horan Moran with Payne's Plough, would you like to do more?
Absolutely. Well, you have this incredible template over here where you put on a new play every week, which is just incredibly brave. And actually, the best thing about this series for us is to see how that will work for our audience, because in Beaulies we would generally have things run for 4 and 5 weeks, and that's just the way we've always worked things. But this is a way for us to really publicise. Come every week, come every Tuesday. You'll see a new one, and if you don't like the one you've seen, you'll like the next one. In fact, but actually, having read the first 2 plays, they're going to like the first 2, and I'm sure they're going to like all 5. Actually, hopefully.
Well, I would urge you to come and see this play. It's a wonderful piece of writing. It's a marvellous Welsh ensemble following the Irish actors of the first play, and David is doing a tremendous job on it, and I think you'll have a great lunchtime out. Thank you.
Thanks.